Hey guys, it's Katrina here again, and I have a book haul for you guys today. If any of you watched my first video I put up, which was my TBR shelf, I claimed that I was going on a book buying ban. The sheer number of books I have for you today proves how false that information was. I filmed that video right kind of as I was introduced to the world of BookTube. Since then, I found so many books that I wanted to read, so I made a couple quick trips to local bookstores and now have a pile of like 20 some books here that I have bought this month. I'm ashamed of myself. But my reading rate has also gone up. I have already read 11 books this month. I know that there is not that much left in April. It is Monday when I'm filming this, so I have 4 days left to read more if I want to, but I can probably get through another one, maybe 2 books this month depending on what I read. So it makes me feel a little less bad about this stack, and I'd already read 3 of the books that I had bought. All of these were books that I bought for myself, mostly just from my local bookstore. That being said, the first book I'm going to show you guys today was the book I received in my April Owl Crate, and that is Everything That Makes You by Moira McStay. I started reading this book. I am 90 pages in. I honestly don't know anything more than what I've read in the first 90 pages because I didn't read any of the summary or any reviews on it. So it's about a girl injured. It's kind of telling it from 2 perspectives. One where she got into this accident when she was younger and one where she didn't. So it's the whole kind of what if novel. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm a little concerned because it came in an Owl Crate box called All the Feels, and I know that it's gonna make me feel lots of things. The next book I bought, I also don't know a lot about, but that is Dollybird by Anne Lazurko. I bought this book because the author is from Weyburn, and I actually grew up dancing with her daughter. It's a pretty thin book. I think it's historical fiction based in Saskatchewan here. I haven't gotten to it yet. Kind of excited to read it. We'll see what happens. Next book I have was a total impulse buy when I was at Walmart the other day, and that is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I have heard quite a few good things about this book. It looks super interesting. I'm kind of starting to get into more of like reading the thrillers and stuff, and I've heard lots of good things about it and think I'll enjoy it. So the next few books that I have are ones that people on BookTube have talked about. I'm like, I need to read that because I fell totally out of connect with the bookish world in the last about year or so. That's why I have a lot of these are ones that people are like, ah, this book was amazing, and I'm like, I need to read that. So the first one I have is The Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I know lots of booktubers have talked about this, lots have loved this, and so I thought I'd give it a try. Same goes with A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I love the premise of this. I love anything that takes place set in London, fantasy. So again, I thought this could be an interesting book. The next one I have was also kind of a cover buy. That is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I have never actually read this book, but I've always wanted to. I do enjoy reading classics from time to time, and I just thought the cover on this was so pretty. Like, it's just beautiful. So next 2 are the first 2 Percy Jackson books, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. I read The Lightning Thief last summer. I listened to it as an audiobook. Really enjoyed it. Never continued on with the series. I know a lot of people have loved these books, so I decided I would give them a try. I couldn't just start with the second one again, so I had to pick up the first one. I'll probably reread it before reading the second one, just to kind of see what's going on with it again. The next book is Legend by Mary Lou. This is another one. I've heard all kinds of good things about it. No, I think it's Hopian. I feel bad because I don't know a lot about a lot of these books. They're just ones that booktubers that I've started listening to and watching have recommended it, and again, I kind of figured why not. The next book I have is Hit by Delia S. Dawson. This one is about a world where when you can't pay your debt, you have the opportunity to become like a hitman. So you either go make people pay their debts or become hitmen, or you have to kill them. I thought it looked super interesting. I love the premise. I love this cover. The next book I bought, I actually was recommended by one of my cousins, and then found a couple booktubers that were excited about it, and that is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This one I actually kind of want to watch the TV show, but I refuse to watch TV show without reading the book first. So I figured I'd pick it up. It's It's quite chunky. Might take me a while to get through. I don't know. I'm gonna get to this one. Hopefully before too long. The next book that I bought, I have already read this month, and that is Bobcat and Other Stories by Rebecca Lee. This one I picked up because Rebecca Lee is actually one of my dad's cousins. It was the first book of short stories that I have read not for school purposes, and it's really hard for me to give an unbiased review because I really wanted to enjoy this book because it is Becky's. Then I picked up The Indigo Spell by Rochelle Mead. This is from the Bloodline series, which follows Sydney, who is an alchemist. I don't want to go into it too much because if you haven't read Vampire Academy, you might not know some of the characters, and I can't really remember if anything in the first couple books, like in here, spoils that series. I just have been slowly kind of working my way through this series, and I've enjoyed it. So last month I picked up and read The Wicked Will Rise and had previously read Dorothy Must Die. And so I picked up Dorothy Must Die Stories, which is a collection of the 3 novellas that go with that series, which is following a girl named Amy Gunn who gets transported from Kansas to Oz, where Dorothy has gone back and basically turned evil and taken over everything. Then I got the 100 The Homecoming. I read the 100 about a year ago, and then I bought the 100 Day 21, and it sat on my shelf, and it sat on my shelf, and it sat on my shelf until I saw this one, and I bought this one, and then I read Day 21 and this book quite quickly. The next book I bought was a total cover buy, and that is The Merciless by Danielle Vega. I've had it described to me as Mean Girls with like darker twists and element, and that's kind of been what I've been in the mood to read lately, so hopefully I'll get around to this one soon. Then I bought a book that was for the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge this year, and that is Forbidden by Kimberly Griffith Little. Only reason I bought this book is because her initials, Kimberly Little, so KL, are the same as mine. Then I picked up Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. I have already read this book. I picked this one up because I really enjoyed Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door. I don't own physical copies of those two. I probably will buy them now that I have this one, just so that I get the matching set. I don't really know what else. I'm sure most of you probably know what these are. They're just kind of light, fluffy, contemporary, romancy goodness. So the next book I have is also another one that I picked up because of booktubers, namely because of Jessie at Jessie the Reader, and that is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. As I said earlier a little bit, I've been starting to get more into the kind of dark, twisty, not as bright, happy books as I've always read, so I decided why not give this one a chance. Typically, I'm not a fan of scary things. I don't know how scary or creepy this one is, but if all else fails, I will put it in the freezer. Thank you to anybody who just got my friend's reference. So the last new book I bought this month was Etiquette and Espionage by Gail Carriger. I started this book already, made it not very far into it. I didn't really enjoy it. It's from the same lines as her Parasol Protectorate series, and I have been told that if you haven't read that, this is less enjoyable. So I'm not going to unhaul this book yet. I am going to try and read, I think Solace is the first book in that series, before giving this one another chance, because I feel like it's something that I could potentially really enjoy. The last thing I bought was something that I have been wanting a physical copy of forever, and that is the Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins. I had these books for my e-reader. My e-reader died on me recently, and so even though I used to keep going back and rereading those books, I now did not have copies of them anymore. So I decided it was going to be worth it for me to go out and buy physical copies. I've already reread The Hunger Games since I bought the books. So those are the books that I purchased in April. Hopefully I can actually go back on my book buying ban now. Although my TBR pile is currently sitting, I think, at about 49. So if I can keep it under 50, I will be happy. I've been reading more than I have the last little while too. So I'm going to do a grand total count. 23 books. Wow. So hopefully next month book haul will be a little bit smaller. I know it won't be non-existent because I did just order a few books off of Book Depository because I couldn't help myself. But anyways, yeah, let me know if there's any of these books that you've read and really enjoyed. Let me know if there's any other books you think that I should read based on what you've seen that I've hauled here. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought, and I should see you soon with another video. Bye!